Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our sister who received this message. The message that she received, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? I never thought that I would find myself in a place like this. It still feels unreal, like a nightmare, and I can't wake up even from that nightmare. But I was there. I was the one who was kneeling in the forest, doing things that I never imagined I would ever do as a Christian woman. It all started so innocently, but I'll never forget how it all ended. It started in my hometown. I was just a regular woman, living in my life, trying to make ends meet. But then things began to fall apart. My husband, he lost his job, and with him out of work, we struggled. The money dried up. The arguments, they started. I did not know what to do. That was when I turned to one of my auntie. My auntie was a woman. Everyone knew her for her spiritual gifts. As for my mother, she had told me that I was never supposed to be that close to my auntie. Since we were Christians, my auntie was a woman whom you never know which type of religion she followed. One minute she was a Catholic, the other time she was a Muslim woman, the other one she was a Pentecostal woman, then the other time she was doing all of this traditional stuff. So my mom never wanted me to be around her. It started at that time when I went to my auntie's place. I thought that my auntie could help me. She always had this presence, this power about her, and everyone always said that she knew how to fix things. In the family, people, they did not like her. They only liked her when they were having some issues and they would go to her so as to fix things, in brackets. I didn't know what kind of fix she meant. I did not know how deep I was about to go when I went to her and when I complained that I was a graduate, but still I was unable to get a meaningful job. Each and every time when I will get a job, I'll be selling some stuff in a small shop, and the boss will end up wanting to sleep with me. So she said, I can fix things for you. She told me that there was a way to bring fortune back into our family, because since my father had married my mom, and my mom, her being a Christian woman, she was the one who had chased away the spirit of our ancestors. She said that used to provide great wealth for the family. But all of this, she said, it was not going to come for free. There was a price. She said that you need to pay. When she told me that there was a price that I had to pay, at that time I did not even understand what she meant at first. She said I would need to go to the forest alone, and that I would need to take a snake. The snake will be my connection to my ancestors, the spirits, and I followed her instructions. Exactly everything she said was going to change. I did not want to do it. I did not want to be involved with anything like that, but I was desperate. We were desperate as a family. My mom, I could tell that she was still holding on to her Christian values, but you could see that things were no longer okay. We were really poor, we were struggling, and I had some of my siblings that still needed to finish their high school, that still needed to go to college or a university, and at that time, I then took it upon myself, just like what my auntie had told me, and she promised me that this was the only way. I then agreed. My auntie told me that we had to go to the forest. This we had to do at midnight. No one, she said, no one, especially your mom, she is not supposed to know. I know that woman, her heart is heartless. The moment that she is going to realize that I want you to perform this traditional ritual, what she is going to do is that she is going to pray, and when she will pray, she is going to confuse the spirits. So please do not tell her, do not tell anyone. No one, she said, was supposed to see us as we were leaving the village going into the forest, and we were not supposed to be seen by anyone. I was terrified, but we went because I believed that this was the only way out. when we got to the spot that she told me about, we then knelt down, and then she opened the pot. When she opened this other clay pot that we found in the forest, I saw that there was a snake. She said that this snake, it represented the spirits of our ancestors. Therefore, I was not supposed to be afraid. She said, do not move. That snake, it then got out of the clay pot. It just stared at me like it knew me. And then I felt a presence behind me, and I wanted to turn around to run, but my auntie told me that I was not supposed to do that because it was my guardian angel, a spirit that had been lost, that had been looking for me. And now that we had opened another dimension, I now had access to these spirits, the spirits that could protect me and to offer me great wealth. I knew indeed that there was something that was standing beside me. The air was cold and my heart was pounding so loud. I thought that my heart was going to pound, to burst out of my chest with the way that it was beating against my chest. I did everything that my auntie had told me. I chanted the words that she had told me, the words that she had gave to me, the words that I could not even understand at that time. Brother Nashi, I kept on chanting, but I was really scared as I was chanting. The forest, it grew quieter. It was like everything stopped. The winds, the birds, even the trees, even the wind was no longer blowing. And then I felt the spirit, the guardian angel, was there with me. So I was supposed to offer some blood to this spirit. I froze because previous to this, my auntie had not told me about any blood that was going to be needed. And she then said that I should have brought a chicken with me. And this chicken was the one that I was supposed to offer. And when I asked her why she had not told me about blood that was going to be sacrificed, my auntie then said that this is what the spirit that was standing behind me had required, had suggested as a form of a sacrifice. Otherwise, it was going to return back to another dimension where it was, and my suffering was going to continue. I then said, can't you negotiate with this spirit on my behalf so that we can return back to the village and tomorrow we can come back with the chicken? She then laughed at me and she said that the way that the spirits operate and the way that us humans operate, we are at different levels. This spirit, it needed blood right there and then. She then gave me a knife and she told me that I was supposed to cut myself so that blood can flow. She then took my hand and she placed it inside that clay pot, and then this was after I had cut myself. It was really painful, and as I felt the blood as it was dropping into that clay pot, after that, the spirit, it seemed as if it was satisfied. I saw the snake as it was shrinking. She then said that it is done. Let us return back to the village. When we were in that forest, I really do not know for how long I knelt there. I don't even remember how exactly we left the forest. All that I remember was my auntie telling me that we needed to return back to the village, and I was not supposed to turn back. It felt as if there was something that was following us. Something, she said, was going to be watching me as we were leaving the forest. When we got home, my auntie and we spoke about everything that had happened, even though I asked her about a lot of stuff that had happened whilst we were in the forest, some things that I had seen. She told me that this was not surprising at all, for this is what my own ancestors used to do, to go to the forest and ask the gods of the forest to bless them, to give them great wealth. And she told me that since I had been chosen and I just needed to continue with the rituals, when she told me that I had been chosen, I did not know what that meant, but I did not ask. I was too afraid of what I had done, and I felt the Holy Spirit as the Holy Spirit was telling me to go on my knees and to ask God for forgiveness before it was too late. Everything started to change after that night. At first, it was small things. My husband, he found a job. Our money problems, they disappeared. It was like everything my auntie had promised me was coming true. But that was when the dreams started. When these dreams started, it was really simple. and funny. I would dream about the forest, about the forest gods, the spirits standing behind me. Sometimes I would hear whispers like they were telling me something. Other times I would wake up feeling like there was a snake in my bed, coiled around me, and I could not escape. When I would wake up, when I would look for my husband, for about 5 seconds, I would see that he won't be in bed with me. Then he would just reappear. I wanted to scream, but I was always afraid that my husband would ask me the reason as to why I was screaming, so I just kept quiet. My husband, he changed. He was not the same man anymore. It was like something had taken over him, and I knew that it was all because of what I did, because of the spirit that I had invited, a spiritual door, like my auntie had told me, that I had invited into my home. I tried to stop it. I tried to go back, but it was too late. I was too deep, and now I was supposed to live with the darkness. Brother Nashi, that was when one day, when I returned back from work, I found my husband. He was bleeding. He even had a clay pot. I asked him about that clay pot. He told me that when he was driving from work, that was when he just thought of buying that clay pot. And then when we went to bed, my husband kept on bleeding. But when I woke up, when I went into the kitchen, he said, "Can you please get me some ice blocks?" Because he had Googled on Google, and we had been told that if you place some ice blocks, maybe the way that he was bleeding, it was going to stop. When I went to the kitchen, that was when I saw the snake. This snake, it was busy drinking the blood, and the snake whispered to me, and he told me not to scream, not to be afraid, for the blood that it was drinking, it was the blood of my husband. That is how my husband died. When my husband passed away, his relatives, they wanted to go to a babalao, but I refused because they said that I was supposed to go with them to that babalao so that I can go and swear that I was not involved with the way that my husband died. And I refused, and I said that since I was a Christian, there was no way that I could get myself involved with a traditional herbalist. But what they did not know was that I was just hiding behind Christianity, yet I was the one who did everything that happened to my husband. My husband died because of these rituals that I did. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.